Hi there, Rebecca Koffler was censored but not silenced, and we have some breaking news for you to report. Russian President Vladimir Putin reacted to U.S. President Donald Trump's Ukraine peace deal, and more specifically, the proposed 30-day ceasefire that Ukrainian delegation and U.S. delegation agreed to recently in Jeddah. Putin just made a statement. It was a 7-minute and 30-second statement that I would like to unpack for you. It was obviously in Russian. It is very important to be able to read between the lines. If you're just able even to translate that, it's not going to give you the full meaning of that. That is why I am giving you exclusively here right now my intelligence analysis on what Putin's reaction means. Basically, it is a no disguised as a yes. Putin is saying in so many words that will appear to the American audience that he is agreeing to the peace plan, but he doesn't agree. The substance is that he rejected it. Okay, so let's go step by step real quick on what exactly Putin said during those 7 minutes and 30 seconds. First, he thanked President Trump for spending so much time on trying to resolve this issue. He called the mission of stopping hostilities and preventing the further loss of life noble. So he's giving Trump some pat on the back here. And here comes the meat. Language is very important. The Russian language is a lot more precise in certain situations than the English language. There are different terms for ceasefire, for truce, for ending of hostilities. So here's specifically what Putin said. We agree to the proposal to stop combat actions, but this must be done in a way that leads to a lasting peace. And we need to eliminate the causes of the conflict, okay? What are the causes of the conflict? If you haven't been paying attention, basically what Putin is referring to is that Ukraine cannot be part of NATO. That, for the Russians, was the root cause of the conflict. And in addition to that, Putin is not accepting any kind of peacekeepers stationed in Ukraine. And that is going to be basically the irreconcilable point in the negotiations. Next, he, in so many words, blamed Ukraine for not approaching the American side to ask for ending the hostilities, for ending the war, but they were waiting for the United States to place pressure on the Ukrainians to do so. He also basically said, we are in principle for the peace deal, but there are nuances. And what are the nuances? He specifically said, what is going to happen with the situation in Kursk? Kursk, if you remember, is the area where the Ukrainian forces, foolishly, in my assessment, decided to conduct an incursion into the Russian territory. This hasn't been done since World War II. Zelensky thought he was doing this oop-to-doost strategy, basically after he was emboldened by former President Joe Biden, who authorized Zelensky to use U.S. long-range missiles to strike deep inside Russia. Well, what that did is just demonstrated to Putin that that his decision to invade Ukraine was correct. He cannot accept this sort of risk this close to his to the Russian territory. So Putin also said, what are we going to do with those Ukrainian forces that are now surrounded in Kursk? Are we going to kill them? Are we going to take them prisoner? How do we deal with that? Because those people committed atrocities against civilians. Who is going to give orders, the commanding orders, to stop the combat activities? And here, what he is hinting at, Zelensky is illegitimate as president. So what Putin is trying to do, without actually saying it, because he wants to appear like he is for Trump's proposal, he's not going to accept orders given by Zelensky because the Russians believe that he's illegitimate. His presidency expired in May. So the next one, he basically said the entire line of contact on the battlefield, which is approximately 2,000 kilometers, and the Russians are holding the upper hand. They are advancing. How is that 30 days going to be used? Is that going to be used for Ukraine to continue mobilization, to add more people to the battlefield, to add more military hardware to the battlefield? Who is going to be giving commanding orders on each point of that 2,000 kilometers line? And how is that going to be verified? Who's going to blame whom for violating that ceasefire? Who's going to give orders to those people to stop those violations? So he closed out the 7-minute, 30-second speech by saying, in principle, we welcome the idea, but there are many issues to be resolved, and we must discuss this with our American colleagues and partners, and maybe even in a phone call with President Trump. So that is the gist of it. Rebecca Koffler here, former DIA intelligence officer, specializing in Putin's mindset and Russian warfighting strategy. This is your intelligence brief for today. If you like it, please follow me on my social media, YouTube, Rumble, Getter, X, Truth Social, etc. And I have a piece also coming out tomorrow on Fox News that's going to unpack this. You can go back and read specifically why my assessment is that President Trump's peace deal for Ukraine will not be accepted by Putin. Yes, Putin will string along Team Trump. That's how he does business, but he's not going to accept it. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you later.